Most people are building resumes completely wrong. They're stuck in document editors like Word and Google Docs, fighting with formatting when they really should be using a resume builder. But here's what most people don't realize about resume builders. There's one feature that changes everything. And this is what I call a master resume. Instead of managing 10 different Word docs or Google Docs that are saved all over the place, you manage your career data in one place, and you can create infinite views of it, which make it super easy to tailor your resumes for each job you apply to. Let's jump in and let me show you how to do it. So here we are in the Teal resume builder. And when you first go over to the resume builder, you'll see that you've got the little document icon for the resume builder. And we're gonna go ahead and create a new resume. And when you create a new resume, what you'll notice is all your career data is on the left. This is your career history. It makes up your master resume. And it makes it very easy for you to turn on and off content and have everything you've ever done without needing to destroy that data and save multiple documents. So that's a really key thing. Then you can add content to it very easily. You can see you have things like your contact info, professional summaries, education, everything you've ever done is here, and then you can manage that on a per resume basis. Since it's data, you can control the information and how it's displayed. So say you wanted to change the way the companies are sorted, or if you wanted to group by position instead, so you can see the positions are at the top instead of the companies are at the top. All of that is controllable because it's data. And if you want to change the location of things, say you want the dates on the right or the left, all of that can be controlled on a per resume by resume basis. If you want to collapse all that, you can see all that. And same goes for all this other information, like skills. Say you want to see the skills section and you want to show that as columns instead, you can do that. Again, it's all data. You can quickly turn on and off the skills that you want in your resume. So that's the master resume, and it's super powerful. But if you don't set up your content management correctly, you'll waste hours every time you apply to a job. Here's where most people mess up their resume workflow. They treat every bullet like it's permanent, when really they're modular, and you can use them and interchange them per resume. Let me show you how we manage that. In your work experience, you'll see that you have your bullets, and you can quickly add a bullet. You can write whatever you'd like, but we'll go ahead and write them with AI. And you can do that a couple different ways. You can use automatic, you can do keywords, you can have it coach you. For time, I'm just gonna go ahead and use this bullet. We'll just go ahead and save that for now. And now you can see that you've got those bullets in there. This is a great bullet. Let me go ahead and make that the first one. You can also update bullets. This one's kind of simple, lacks any metrics, so I'll just improve it with AI. And that's gonna go and rewrite it. Here, I'll use some keywords that are recommended for a product manager position. So I'll go ahead and add user-centric, data-driven decision-making. I'll continue that, and now that's gonna generate new bullet suggestions using those keywords. And I'll go ahead and save those. This is how you can manage all of the content in the master resume. Every section allows you to turn things on and off and modify it. Now, having all this content doesn't mean anything if you can't match it to specific jobs. And this is where our next feature gets super good. The built-in job matching just is a total game changer. You can search millions of jobs and instantly see what you're missing. To do that, you're gonna come over to the job matcher. And from there, you can pick jobs that are in your tracker, or you can search for new jobs in our millions of jobs in our database. In this case, I'm gonna use a job from my tracker, which is a senior product manager at SoFi. And immediately you can see I'm a 31% match for this job. And you've got all the skills and keywords that are in that job. Red means it's missing from my resume. Green means I have it on my resume. And if you see yellow, that means you have it on your resume, but it's not enabled or turned on in your master resume. You can also go ahead and change this. You can show the original job description if you'd like. It's gonna highlight all the keywords for you. You can show the job description and the summary. I'll just go to keywords only, and I'm gonna group them by JD section. So I make sure that I address all of the requirements first. Now we can look through these and we can see if there's keywords that belong better in the skills section. So fintech, I'm just gonna go ahead and add that as a keyword to my skills section. I'm gonna look at some of the responsibilities as well and see if any of those work for me. Agile environments, I'll go ahead and add that as a skill. Backlogs, I'll add that as a skill. Now we can use these keywords to create bullets, which is the core content in a resume. So let's look at some of these keywords and see where they make sense. So fast-paced, that's pretty important. Let's go ahead and create a bullet for that. I was in a fast-paced environment at Spotify, so I will continue there. And now I can add other keywords if I'd like. So let's go ahead and add customer first and data fluency. Continue. Now that's going to generate bullets that address those keywords in the job description. I'll go ahead and pick the first one. Again, modify it if there's anything that you didn't do. We'll go ahead and save it, and you can see that our score went up. And what you want to do is repeat that process, and then you can ignore the keywords that you don't have or that maybe the AI overreached on and grabbed. Let me go ahead and fix those up real quick, and then we'll keep going. Now we've got our score into the mid 70s. That's a great place. We've addressed all of the requirements of the job. What we want to do now is analyze our resume for best practices. Let me show you how that works. When you come over to our analysis mode, we are going to review it for best practices. There's a lot of context in resumes and levels of seniority and industry. So ultimately, we really want you to trust your judgment. We're here to guide you. So something like the number of bullets in this position, that's quite a few. So I'd probably look for the ones that don't have metrics, that maybe are a little shorter, and I'd get rid of those. We recommend 3 to 5 between your first 2 positions, because what we really want you to do is highlight the most important things you've done and make that first position really substantial. Then here you can see that this one's probably got a few too many as well. So we can take out some of those little ones that we didn't do. Now, you don't lose these for the entirety of all the resumes that you make. That's the benefit to the master resume. So as you work through these, you can address these, and you want to get into the 80s. I think that's good. Again, use your judgment on what you think is best. This is here to guide and help you. Once you have your resume content and all of the information in a good place, now you want to focus on the visuals. And you can do that by coming over to design mode. In the designer, you can change all of the settings from the base template. You can change things like your height and your spacing, the line height on the characters, accent colors, also the layout of where things are. But you can also browse our existing template library, and you can click through the ones we've got. Any of these can work, and then you can change all those settings, and those settings are stored per template. So you can jump back and forth and change those if you'd like. Again, all these settings are here. If you want to rearrange the sections, say you wanted to put your education above, you can do that. All of it is modular and can be controlled on a per resume basis. Over here in your settings, if you wanted to do the companies first or the positions first, you can do that. If you wanted to show dates by position, you can do that. That changes it here. And you can have your education and certifications match that layout. If we come back over to our presentation, you can then have the date alignment on the right, location alignment on the right. All of that can be controlled. And then the advanced settings, you can change the separators, you can change the height and text. If you wanted to make the full name bigger and do something kind of stylistically, all of that can be controlled here. Now your resume looks exactly how you want. But to stand out, adding a cover letter to your application can go a long way. The good thing is that's built right in. So if we come over to cover letter, and since you have a job matched and all the content selected, you can write with AI, choose the length, the tone. We recommend matching the tone of the job description. You could pick particular parts of the job description, or you can use a custom prompt. And then you'll just click write with AI, and it's gonna generate a draft of a cover letter for you. And the really great thing is it's gonna match stylistically exactly with your resume, because that design system is powering both the resume and the cover letter. So any adjustments you make on the font, the spacing, the colors will immediately match both. That's less to manage, more time that you gain back to apply to jobs effectively. Now you've built the perfect application package, but there's one last step to get it all together, and that's exporting it out. To do that, you're gonna come over to export, and you can export a combo package of the resume and the cover letter, or you can export them out individually. We'll do a quick check so you can see which sections are turned on and off, check your score and your analysis. The name will automatically be inherited from what you've saved it as in Teal. And you will see you have a nice cover letter with all your information, your resume nicely formatted, all highlightable text, which is ATS compatible and ready for your application. Now that all this data is stored in Teal, and when you go to make a new resume, it'll just use that existing data. If you want, you can have all your content turned on by default or turned off by default. That just makes it easier for you to manage your information. We'll go ahead and make a new resume. And now that you've got a lot of content in your master resume, when you go to your job matcher, you can actually use AI to auto-select the most relevant content. Now, this auto-selection tries its best to make your resume concise and matching, so you may have content turned off that is relevant. Let me quickly show you how to do that. And here you can see that now you've got yellow keywords. That means that they're available and just weren't turned on, and you can quickly address those. Once you get a hang of this workflow, you'll never go back to fighting a Word doc or a Google doc. The job tracker integration is gonna go a long way in pulling it all together, and that's gonna be the subject of my next video. So it's about to change how you go about job applications entirely. If you have any questions or comments about everything I just covered, please just go ahead and engage in the comments. I'll try to get back to you as fast as I can, and let us know how we can make Teal better for you.